Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to make this DIY Dollar Tree Pinterest inspired cross, and we're going to make it in the farmhouse style. Here's the actual Pinterest. It is made with much wider burlap with a much bigger picture frame, but we're going to use this 5x7 farmhouse frame from the Dollar Tree. Now if you can't find that one, you can always paint one. That's why I showed you the inspiration piece. You're going to need some jute. This is either from the Dollar Tree or you can use jute from Walmart. You're going to need some burlap. Now because we're using a smaller frame, this smaller burlap is perfect, but it comes in a variety of colors. We're going to use natural. Of course, you're going to need your glue gun and glue sticks, and of course a scissor. So first thing we're going to do is unwrap the frame. So as I was mentioning before, the inspiration piece looks like it's about an 8x10 or 8.5x11. You can upcycle a frame to do this project. You can paint it. That's why I shared the inspiration piece with you, because you could see that they painted it blue. The other thing that I'm going to talk about is you can embellish it in any way that you want with any embellishments that you have at home. I just thought this was a great starter project. I'm going to show you guys quick and easy ways to do it. There's actually even easier ways to do it if we would have just wrapped the whole thing in burlap, which I think I might do another day and share it with you. But I'm just going to show you this super simple, inexpensive way to do it. Now, I am showing you this in real time to show you that it doesn't take very long. This whole project from start to finish was about less than 15 minutes. But if you are a crafter and you get the gist, you can just fast forward. If you like the sound of my voice, I figured I would just talk to you guys while I walk through it. It's sort of like you're here with me while we're crafting. But if you're doing this with me, and this is the first, one of the only few times that I actually am able to show you a craft in real time, it's nice that you could put this on the TV, you can get these supplies, and you could sit down and it's like we're crafting together. So you're going to bend up all of the clips, and you're going to remove the glass, the paper, and the backing. And then we're going to take these little metal pins out. Now, usually they come right out. Every once in a while you get one that's stuck. And of course, my luck was the very first one that I tried to get out was stuck. Sometimes you could wiggle with your fingers, you could use pliers, or sometimes I just use the inside of my scissor because I don't always have those other tools by me. And usually you're just supposed to pull it against the, from the direction it's going, you pull in the opposite direction. But for some reason, this one was just wanted to be stubborn and obstinate. So I twisted it, and I ended up breaking off a little tiny piece of the plastic frame, which is not a huge deal because it's going to be in the back. Plus, we're going to cover it with burlap. So even if this is a gift and you broke a piece of the frame, that's okay. We're going to cover it in burlap. But I really like this frame. This is that farmhouse barn board wood, distressed wood looking plastic frame. But like I said, a whitewash frame would be beautiful. Something to match your decor, of course, would be great as well. And if you did this in a bigger size, you could go ahead and use the smaller burlap. It just will look different than the inspiration piece. I could tell you by looking at the inspiration piece, like I said, it's probably an 8x10 picture frame with the 5-inch burlap from the Dollar Tree. So the dimensions on this are pretty similar. So we're just going to use this unfinished raw burlap from the Dollar Tree. Now, could you use the one with the wire edge? I'm sure you could. It will probably end up looking a little different, but that's okay. You go for the look that you like. If you have that finished wired burlap all throughout your house, go ahead and stick with it. For me, I just wanted to get as close to the inspiration piece as possible. So what I'm doing is I'm eyeballing it, but you could go ahead and measure. This ribbon is 2 or 2.5 inches wide. I would measure it because sometimes when the edges fray off, it's supposed to be 2.5 inches wide. But you can go ahead and find the center, and then find the center of the burlap and center it on there. But I'm just eyeballing it. I think that it kind of adds to that rustic look. I've folded over the very edge, and I've glued it down. I folded it under so that when you see right in the channel of the back of the picture frame is where we put the glue, and we just went ahead and stuck it in there. And then when it's all said and done and cooled off, then you can go ahead and worry about all your frays and your lost edges, as you can see that I'm doing here. This one I just cut where it started to come away from the burlap, and this way it's okay that the frayed edges just look more natural. So now this is the back of the picture frame, as I said before, and we're just going to keep working with the back. We're going to make the burlap come around the front, and we're going to repeat the same on the bottom. So what I've done is I've pulled the burlap up and I folded the edge over just to give me an idea of where I should cut. And then I went ahead and I cut that off. The best way to cut burlap is to go between the rows, especially this burlap from the Dollar Tree. It helps cut down on the fraying. And now I'm just seeing that when I started to pull the burlap down, it needed some extra gluing at the top. Now, as you can see, I'm just using the side of my scissors to press it in that channel. I know you guys have some great tips. Some people use silicone spatulas. Some people use the cut-off stems from flowers. I know that you guys have some great tips. But as long as you keep it moving, this scissor works really great. And if you get glue on the scissor, it peels off the metal really easy. So again, you're just going to repeat to the bottom. Just go as you go. If you pull and it becomes more gets detached at the top, you can go ahead and just fill that in. And we're going to fold over and glue in that channel. And again, we're going to use our scissor to press it down. And we're going to do this until we have it secure at the top and the bottom. Okay. And then the next thing we're going to worry about is the side to side. Now, what is the formula for a cross? I don't know. I really just eyeballed it to where it looked good to me. I thought that if it would be somewhere above half, that's the way I think crosses always look. They're not exactly straight across the middle. But that's entirely up to you. If you want to put it straight across the middle, you can do that. It's fine. You do what feels right for you and what looks good for you. You guys know I love to just inspire you, show you some techniques, but basically I want you to make it your own, make it unique, like each one of us is as well. All right, and we're just going to repeat the same with the sides. Fold it over. We're still working on the back. Put glue in the channel. Put the fold in the channel. Use the scissor to hold it down. Just had a little random piece of glue on there, so that's fine. And then turn it around. I like to work with the work towards me instead of reaching across the project. You don't always get that opportunity to turn it. Sometimes you're working with something that's so big you have to reach across the project. But if I have the opportunity to turn it, I will. I prefer to work with the item towards me. I just have better control over my hands and stuff. All right, and I'm doing the same thing we did on the bottom, where I'm just putting it up, measuring it, maybe eyeballing double, cutting it. And then see there, when I started to pull it, I realized I didn't have enough glue at the top. And there was also a couple of random strings that had popped over once I folded it over. So just get those random strings. You can decide whether or not you want to pull them out or if you want to glue them down. Again, it's up to you. Some people really enjoy the frayed edges that I get. I kind of enjoy the frayed edges that come along with this raw burlap. But some people don't. Some people like a nice clean burlap line. So that's something to consider when you're going ahead and picking out the burlap that you choose. All right. And again, same thing. Use the scissor. You could use a popsicle stick if you don't want to put glue on your scissor. Just make sure you keep it moving so that you don't actually glue the popsicle stick to the burlap. While the glue is hot, you want to go ahead and spread it and move it. All right. And now we're just going to clean up whatever little pieces of frayed burlap, of any loose ends that we have. You can skip this till the end, and actually we end up having more at the end anyway, but I'm going to go ahead and do it now and then repeat it at the end. So if you just need a few minutes to get your stuff. So that's how it looks, and I'm just eyeballing it for evenness, and it looks pretty even to me. And not until I turned it over did I realize that there was a loose thread there at the top. Do you see that? So let's go ahead and fix that. Loosey-gooseys everywhere. Oh, we'll glue it. The amount of jute that you're going to use, I made 2 pieces at 18 inches, and I ended up cutting one off after I knotted it. But it's just easier. Jute is very inexpensive, so you can go ahead and do that. And then I'll show you, I have embellishment jars that I keep in my craft room. They're old red cabbage and sauerkraut jars that I got from Aldi's. I like them because they have cute little gingham tops. But I thought how cute this would look instead of tying the cross together with jute, if you took some of that really pretty ivory lace ribbon from the Dollar Tree, the one that's almost like crocheted lace. You could use that, or you could use bling if you're a blingy person. You can use diamond wrap if that's the case. Anything that you feel is part of your aesthetic that you want for the house that you live in or whoever you're giving this gift to. So I've taken the jute and I've gone over the top and then around the back. So I started from underneath. I went crisscrossed it over the top and then turned it over and pulled it through to the back. And the reason I did this is because I wanted the front to have like no knots, because I didn't want it to push my embellishments up too high. So I also don't permanently tie the first one until I get the second one tied, because I want to make sure I can get them as evenly as possible. Alright, so that's just another tip. Then go ahead and repeat with the other side, with the other direction, and you see that? So you're going to crisscross applesauce, go around towards the back, and now you can make both your final adjustments. And I just did one, like an overhand knot, and I didn't actually knot it, I just tied it. The jute does hold on to itself pretty good, so it just holds for a few minutes there with the knot. And now I'm adjusting the burlap. I was going for the look that I wanted. I see how I pushed the burlap. Instead of having like little valleys of the burlap, I made it sort of like pushed it out so it would be a little bit more mountainous or even. And then I figured when I got it where I want it, you want to turn it back over. And I'm going to take the first, the last string that I put on, I'm going to bring it back forward and I'm going to use it to tie a bow. And again, this is optional. This is how I'm decorating it. I'm just tying a bow right there on the front, and it's just a standard, I tied my shoes kind of a bow. Single jute thread. For those of you who have never made a bow before, you adjust it just to get evenly. You slowly pull the tails out and tighten it, and do that over a few times. And now on the back, I'm going to take what was the first string, which is now on the bottom, and I'm going to tie it in a knot over the second string just to give it some more security. Okay, and I'm going to tie this knot tight so that I'm going to cut it off. And you could go ahead and do a double bow if you felt like it, if you wanted to do one of those cute burlap roses, anything that you wanted to embellish this with. It would be absolutely gorgeous because it would be personal for you. Okay? Now, all I'm using to embellish it is 2 tiny pieces of the Queen Anne's lace from the Dollar Tree. I love this stuff because it reminds me the most of like natural baby's breath. I just took 2 little clusters, one on each side, and I glued it on the inside of each of the bow loops. And that's just the way I wanted to design it. I have buttons, I have silver buttons, I have buttons from the Dollar Tree. I've got lots of different ideas, wooden beads, all these different things that we can do to embellish this, but this is how simple. I just wanted to make it just like that. So I know you guys are going to think that that was super simple, and it was. So hopefully, oh, here I am. I'm going to show you different choices for embellishment. They have lots of different ribbons at the Dollar Tree, but this crocheted lace-et type of ribbon from the Dollar Tree is very Farmhouse, and look how pretty that would look crisscrossed, even if you didn't want to put any embellishments. I just wanted to show you how that looked with the burlap and the frame. That's it. Now we're just going to put on a hanger because this picture frame's hanger was on the backing, so there's no way to hang it otherwise. And we're just going to make one of our famous loopy jute hangers. You basically fold it over and you tie the loop part in a knot. And then I tied it and I realized that it's a little too long because you will see the loop coming out the top, and that's not the look that I was going for. So I'm tying it in a second knot, which actually worked to my advantage because the place where I have to glue it is sort of deep into the frame, and having a bigger knot made it sit in the right spot. Okay, so that's that big knot right there, and I'm going to glue that in. And you want this to be as centered as possible. You can take a pen or a pencil and you can find center by just holding the tip of the pencil under the picture frame until it looks level to you. But I'm just finding the center of the picture frame. I'm just finding middle and I'm gluing it there. It's not very heavy, so it won't tilt, but depending on what embellishments you put on it or what size picture frame you use, you might have to worry about how you balance it, okay? And then once that glue is dry, we can go ahead and cut off any extra little threads that are still remaining. I do just love this so much. I bought this picture frame not with the intention of making this. So I bought the gray one because my house is all gray walls except the guest room and the office. And I can't hang it on any of my walls because it blends right in. But my bedroom has a really pale shade of gray, and that's where I ended up hanging it. Okay, so that's it, everybody. I hope you really enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed doing it with me at the pace at which it goes. And let me know if you do it with me. I appreciate knowing all this stuff. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you share with friends and family, anybody who might be interested in learning how to make this or for some inspirational art. And if you haven't yet, click subscribe. When you do, a little bell will pop up. When you ring that bell, YouTube will let you know whenever I upload a new video. And as always, you take care, God bless, and we'll see you next time. Bye.